Yep.
Hey guys, welcome to the Talking Shed podcast. Today it's Cody and I, and we are in the mobile office today, driving down the road, and wanted to get a podcast in. It's been a while. The last one we did, Cody, we had Lee in the studio.
Yeah, Lee and Dave.
Yeah, that was back during that right before that Salford meeting. Lee came up from Georgia and had a great evening there at that Salford event. Those events take forever and a lot of planning to do, but man, when they come together, they're home runs, and we had a good time there. So, But today is April 21st.
Yep.
A month ago, if you had told me that the majority of the crop would not be in the ground yet, I'd call you crazy.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
Here we are. We were so dry last fall, dry over the winter, not a lot of snowfall to say or to speak of over the winter, and it all came in March and April.
Yep.
We have had some rain.
Yeah. I'd say here in the last 2 to 3 weeks, probably close to 7 inches, probably.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
And a few of some of them came in big spells. We had a lot of flooding. There was and I'm talking, you listeners know, I mean, this is Ohio and Indiana for the most part. And we were so close to being ready to go a couple times, especially here lately.
Yeah.
But it just didn't pan out. So today is a Sunday. We're recording this, and it's 50 today. It's been 60s the last couple days. But it's looking like we may get a window of opportunity this week.
Yeah.
Depending on some stuff. But there are some pockets that have been running. You get south of us into like Greenville, Bell Fountain, and south, Cincinnati region. They've got some stuff planted.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a customer that we put a fertilizer system on. He started this weekend. So he's in that, he's just west of London a little bit.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so there's been some spots. I mean, there's been a few days here and there maybe, but good times to get the kinks worked out of the planter, out of your auto steer system.
Yep.
To get that thing out there and just see what kind of hidden bugs might develop. So it's good to, the phone calls of, hey, I need your help right now. I'm sitting out in the middle of the field. Those are fine, but man, if we can just get that thing out in the field ahead of time before you're actually ready to test it, man, it just makes everyone's life a lot easier. Run some seed through it, run some fertilizer through it, and see what you're going to find.
Yep, just working the bugs out. I mean, throw some seed in it, just throw a little bit of water in the fertilizer side of things, and just self-test it, run it a little bit. But
yeah. On the in the sales world, this wetter spring that we've had has produced some sprayer sales.
Yeah,
done a little bit of that. Those little Top Air ATV sprayers. Those things are so awesome.
They are. They are having the 60-foot boom and the walking tandem axles. Just a real small footprint, able to cover some acres pretty quick. You got to fill quite a bit, but it doesn't take you very long to fill.
Yeah, I mean, for what they're designed to do, if you've got to sit for 3 or 4 days when it's a little damp, you could get some serious acres done. If you've got a lot of spraying to do and you dedicate 2 guys to running that Top Air, you could cover, I don't see why you couldn't cover 300 acres in a day.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a big day.
Yeah.
But you could definitely do it. So, whenever the big pull type or the self-propelled can't cover that ground, you could be rolling into spring and not be behind whatsoever.
Yeah.
Here when it does finally dry out. Because I've talked to a lot of guys who have been doing either cover crops or, they typically burn down early, and they've called about planter questions like, hey, what do I need to know? How do I need to set this planter differently? Do I need to get like the shark tooth wheels on my planter instead of the finger?
Yep.
So there's going to be some changes that will need to be made to adjust to these field conditions that we're seeing. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's definitely been the season of selling planter attachments has definitely opened as well.
Extended.
Extended. Yes, extended. You're definitely seeing more and more of those guys trying to, what do I want to say there? Adapt to the planting conditions that they're going to be seeing. And, a lot of guys might not be able to get out and, necessarily work their field. So they're looking at row cleaner options and stuff like that, and just trying to work in some no-till to save themselves some time.
Sure. Yeah, and the same goes for tillage, really. I mean, sprayers, planter attachments, and tillage, everyone's kind of had to adjust a little bit of what they're doing, so that when it does dry out here, they can really kick it in gear and go and not be behind. So we've had a lot of tillage inquiries, sold some vertical tillage stuff here last week, and some cultivators. We had some guys on cultivators, so it's been good. It's been good for us on the sales side. The shop has been busy.
Yes,
we're treading water a little bit. We needed a little bit of delay in planning just to get everything done. We pushed some seed tenders out the door, like that seed and fertilizer tender. We put a video of that on YouTube. We got a 1775 pushed out the door. Got new row cleaners. There's a video of that online as well.
Yep.
And then I do have one more planter job that's got to get tidied up early this week yet.
Yeah.
So,
well, heck, I do too. We gotta put some TT300s and some twisters on it.
Yeah.
So
we are busy, and we've got some deadlines that we need to hit here. But like the one you have to do, that deal just got put together on Friday.
Yeah.
So
guy on a whim, he
bought a new planter.
Seen a planter come up for sale, and it was a good price, so he went out and bought a planter and was like, hey, I need 2x2 on this. And I'm like,
nothing wrong with that. We can do that.
He goes, I want to do the TT300s. Said, yep, I got it all here. Bring
got
it over.
It in stock.
Yep.
So we can do turnaround stuff like that pretty quick. And that's where the inventory really helps out is because as the weather changes, guys are sitting there saying, what could I do better this year? Because now is my time. And a guy like that, he said, man, I've been kicking around the new planter. It rained. I got a week here, a window. Boom. Made the change.
Yep.
He's been talking about it probably for a while, and found the planter he wanted and got it done.
Yep.
And his next phone call was us to get that thing tidied up.
Be a 1760 12-row front fold is what it is.
Cool.
So
that'll be sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's what's been going on. A lot of troubleshooting with rate controllers, the MicroTraks, the John Deeres, the Ravens. A lot of you guys may not know. Maybe you've seen some of our Raven troubleshooting videos, but our YouTube has turned into like the Raven support hotline.
Yeah. Definitely for the 440s and the 450s.
No doubt.
Sure.
Like, we have got thousands of views on our Raven 440 and 450 setups and walkthroughs and tutorials.
Yeah.
And we have people call in from all across the country every day.
Crazy.
This time of year. And they'll say, hey, I Googled how to fix my flow meter, and your video came up, and so I'm calling you, and all right, sounds good. Let's walk through it. And they might be from Mexico, Florida, Connecticut.
I talked to a guy from Idaho last week.
Yeah. And why is that? Well, some companies get really big and can't offer the quick support that farmers need. When you're selling a product, guys have to have a phone number that they can call and talk to a real live person. And that's what we provide. We'll get into where we were at this weekend and some things we did there, but like that's a big part of what we do is, if we can't get you the answer, if we don't know the answer, we'll get you the answer.
Yeah, for sure.
And but for us, it's like secondhand. But to some places, I mean, it's just unheard of.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Raven's a great company. But I dare you to try to get a hold of them for solid troubleshooting advice.
Yeah. Good luck trying to get support out of them.
It's been tough lately. Now they make awesome stuff,
yeah.
but that's where we try to come in and fill that gap, because we're going to sell their products. So who's going to support it? Well, we have to.
Right.
Because I'm not going to sell something that can't fully get supported. But the Raven 440s and 450s, in their defense, is an item that they are not heavily focused on. It's older stuff. They're more focused on the brand new ISO.
Yeah.
Raven ISOs. So that's where their focus is at.
Automation.
The RCMs, automation, a lot of different things. They've been purchased by Case lately too, so there's a lot going on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, probably just working on trying to phase some of that stuff out, and so there are probably new faces in the company with the Case buyout and everything else, and so there's not a lot of knowledge on that side of the game, and so it's a way for us to fill the void.
And just you get into stuff like that with big companies, and you get press 1 for this, press 2 for this, and pretty soon 20 minutes in you're like, well, is this getting anywhere? You're on hold,
and
or something,
you still haven't talked to a real person.
But anyway, those videos and those support hotlines that you see on YouTube, I really urge you to use those. Utilize the resources that we have, and I think we try to put some good, valuable stuff on there, and make it free and easy for everyone to view. So that's what's been going on in the equipment world. This week we're going to tidy up some stuff. We've got some demos staged. Spring demos are really hard because the window of opportunity is so tight, especially with a late spring like we're having.
It's about as wide as a needle.
Right. So we've got a few pieces staged that we'll get some demos in, but it's not like this past fall when we started in September and
ran all the way until November.
Finished in Christmas. Literally just before Christmas. So
what was even the last demo we did? I don't know.
I did that one down in Camden.
Yeah, that's right.
And that one was pretty late. I know we ran one up north to the guy that saw me when I was driving with one.
Okay, yeah.
That was like into December, I believe.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was late. So that's what's going on. Parts have been flying off the shelf. For you guys that haven't been to the new parts warehouse, I urge you to stop by and check it out. It's pretty sweet. Austin and Lydia have got it put together, and it makes it fast, easy, and simple to come in there and get the parts you need.
Yeah, especially if you know what you're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a fun podcast. Cody and I are on a little bit of a high right now. We've been, a lot of you guys know that we are avid hunters. Of course, you've heard us talk about some coyote hunting and stuff. But if you know much about hunting, you know that turkey hunting is pretty interesting. It's unique. I don't know how to describe it because it's different for everyone. For me, in my hunting quote-unquote career, turkey hunting has been frustrating. Annoying.
Yes.
I mean, you can go turkey hunting and maybe not hear a thing, maybe not see a thing. You're in hills, you go hiking all day, and it's like, there's no turkeys here. I mean, these birds are smart. They are very smart. They're extremely quiet. Their eyesight's phenomenal. And
they can hear very well too. They have very, very good eyesight, and they have very, very good hearing. And
somehow Cody coaxed one into the bed of the truck this morning.
Well, I had some feed.
Feed?
It just
Yeah.
I just sprinkled it out there.
So
yeah.
we took a trip down here to Calhoun, Kentucky.
Yep.
Tell us how that all got started.
So I had it actually started probably about 3 years ago at the Louisville Farm Show. Well, no, that's not true either. He called into the office right whenever I first started back here, and we were talking VRT maybe. I want to say it was VRT. And it was before it was even released, and he was talking about it and wanted to know what our thoughts of the tool was and everything else. And I laid it out for him. We were the only ones that had really done a video on it and everything. And Keith Belt actually set him up with a demo, and he ran it across 3,000 acres the one year. Or the one fall, and then ran it across 2,000 acres that next spring as well. And that's kind of how that all started. He's bought and purchased some other products from us. He bought some triple threats, and then I sold him some knives. And then this year we set him up with a planer fertilizer setup on his. It's a 1223 row 1200.
Yeah. It's like a
Case 1200.
A 1530 bean drill.
Yep.
You can plant beans or corn with it.
Yep.
Yep.
And
when Cody and I are talking to people, farmers, if a 270 or an 812 or a 740 or 614 area code come up, we know what lives in those area codes.
yes,
Deer and turkey.
thunder chickens.
So we're like, hey, so you got any turkeys down there?
Mm-hmm.
And, we'll ask various customers that. And, we're mainly joking because we don't really have time to do that.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And I think the last time we went turkey hunting was probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And so it's just a hard time to get away.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes some serious time dedication.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're spending a full weekend
Yeah.
doing it. So anyway, we got set up with Jonathon to come down here and turkey hunt his farm.
Yep. Fairview Farms, Jonathon Ayers and his family, they invited us down. We were actually going to go the year before, but we got too busy with other things. As spring comes along, it's always very busy, and so it's hard for us to get away just so that way we can support everything that we sell throughout the winter. And so he called me last week on that fertilizer setup, and we went through that. I had to call George from MicroTrak, and we went through his Spray Mate Plus. He put a Spray Mate Plus on that planter, and so we were messing around with that a little bit, worked him through that. And he said, hey, are you guys planning on coming down turkey hunting this year? And I said, well, I don't know. Let me talk to Adam. And,
the answer is yes.
And so we didn't know that we were going to go until about Thursday of this last week.
There was some rain coming,
Yep.
and if it was going to rain, we could leave.
Yep.
If it wasn't going to rain, we were in for a busy weekend.
Yes.
Because the guys were going to start getting into the field.
Yep.
So we waited to see what this rain would do, and it missed us. So we headed to Kentucky.
Yep.
Packed our stuff and got in Friday
Yep.
afternoon and started scouting birds.
Yep. Got here about Friday at 5:30, and Jonathon took us to 3 farms and everything, and so we went and scouted. And then the first day we saw a lot of turkeys. We saw probably 8 turkeys.
It was like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I had never seen that many turkeys, and from looking at the layout of this farm, you wouldn't really think that. Like, when we went and looked at the farms, I thought, okay, there's some hills, there's some crop ground, so there's plenty of food, and then there's some cover. And I thought, it could be okay. We'll see what we get into, because you never know what you're going to get into really with turkeys. You might just get covered up, or you might not see anything. And the first day was solid.
Yeah.
Saw a ton of hens.
Yep.
And
we about had a coyote walk right into our laps.
Yeah, we were sitting there, and we saw him, and I thought this is crazy. That thing was kind of sneaking right up on us, but didn't make it. So we headed back to the truck and grabbed the old Fox Pro coyote call.
Yep.
And
of course, we don't leave home without that.
Oh yeah, we knew we were going to shoot some coyotes in Kentucky, and we set that thing out there, and about 30 seconds of rabbit distress. That thing comes shooting out of there like a bull out of a buck and shoot. I kid you not.
Yep.
That coyote launched out of a cannon.
Yes.
Towards that call.
Yep.
He was going to get that rabbit, but Cody's 12 gauge got to him first.
Yep.
And
that's the first one we've ever killed with shotgun.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Up
the
close.
thing was what, 50 yards?
Whenever I shot him the first time, he was probably 50, and then I shot him the second time, he was at 30, and he kind of started flipping out, and he was probably 15 yards whenever I put the kill shot on him.
Yeah.
So
that was fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. He was right there.
That was intense. I mean, we knew there was a coyote in there. But like I was telling Cody, when you're calling coyotes, the first couple minutes, you're kind of like, okay, nothing's going to happen. Usually they come in between like minute number 6 and 10, and literally 30 seconds in. So we're kind of just like relaxed, like, you know, we'll have to wait here for a little bit. Boom. Thing comes shooting out of the woods, like, holy cow, here he is.
Right there.
It was something.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so, you know, when you're hunting turkeys, a lot of times you'll roost them. So you'll go out the evening before, and they will fly up into the tree that they're going to stay in, and they'll gobble a couple times to let their hens know where they're at.
Yep.
So that way in the morning, it's a quick deal. They'll fly down and find the hens, and just kind of hang out with the hens all day.
Yep.
So Cody was roosting, and he texted me, said, hey, I just heard some gobbles, and I was like, no way, because I thought I'd be close enough to him to hear the gobbles, and I didn't hear nothing.
Well, see, I had to prove it to him because I knew he would never believe me. So I had to call Adam to get him to gobble back at me, and I took a Snapchat of it and sent it to him to prove it to him, so he'd believe me.
Right, because this same day you tried to tell me that a hen was strutting. So, yes, I have valid reasons for not believing you.
Well, it was also pretty far away.
Okay, yeah. So, he heard some gobbles. We did get them validated. They were, in fact, gobbles.
Yep.
And so, we're excited. I mean, I was so nervous because this is what it's about. You roost a bird, you go back in there in the morning, set out the decoys, and it's far. We're still far from a for sure thing here. Yeah. I mean, there's still a 10% chance that anything would happen, because a lot of times they'll fly down, get with the hens, and they'll just go quiet because they don't need to gobble anymore. Because once they're with a hen, you're not completely out of game, but for the most part, you are.
Yeah. Keep in mind, in all of this is also the closest encounters that we've ever had with turkeys in general while turkey hunting.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You hear that? I heard that thing gobble the first time, and it was like a shot of electricity just went down my spine.
Oh yeah.
Like
you can feel it.
It was like, whoa! Like he just, and it just goes right down your spine, and there's just not a feeling on this world that you feel whenever you hear that initial gobble.
Yeah,
like
it'll get your heart pounding.
Just goes right through you.
It'll get your heart pounding whether you care about turkey hunting or not.
Yep. So we got it roosted. Well, yeah, I guess I did. We were kind of hunting this peak, this ridge, and Adam was hunting another spot, and another coyote about walked right up to you.
Yeah.
And
same spot.
Yep. So Adam calls me, hey, do you see that coyote? And I said, yeah, and I can see him coming up over the ridge. There's like 2 humps that it goes over. And so he comes up over the first ridge, and I'm like, yeah, I see him. And then he comes up over the second ridge, And this is Saturday night, and I was like, oh man, I'm going to shoot another one. And like he was literally coming right to my lap. Well, I had literally just gotten set up and just called, and then you called me, and there was a hen that I don't know if I called her in or if she was just out in the field kind of mingling or what she was doing, but the coyote seen the hen and took off after her, and I actually watched the hen fly up in the air. So that was the first close encounter that I had with a turkey.
Yeah.
And then it was probably an hour later, it was probably 7 o'clock whenever I heard the tom gobble. And I was like, oh man, I'm like, all right, I might have a shot at this. And he kind of just sat up, and he didn't really do a whole lot. He was just kind of sitting there, and I called at him a couple of times, and it was getting late, and so he was pretty well staged in one area. He didn't move around a whole lot. Well, once I got him roosted, I knew where he was at. He was probably about 60 yards behind where I was sitting. So that night, we were kind of drawing up a game plan on what we were going to do, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to get the decoys, and I'm going to set up basically just right outside of the woods where he was at, because we couldn't necessarily hunt the actual woods that he was in. We could hunt the property line. So we were hunting the property. I was hunting the property line, and I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to basically set where I sat, and I'm going to set the decoys out there. Hopefully he just comes out and he sees the decoys and he just gets mad and comes right up to him. Well, this morning I heard him gobble early, and it was early, like maybe 15 minutes after shooting light, maybe. And he probably gobbled 15 to 20 times this morning, and he was just sitting there hammering right before he got down. So he got down and he gobbled and he was moving, and then I heard him again, and he got closer to me. And why don't you finish the rest of that story?
Well, I was in a unique position here because we went to two different spots, because I knew if I set up anywhere near Cody, I would end up shooting the bird, and we gotta let him shoot stuff every now and then. So I walked a few hundred yards away just in case this tom didn't go the way that we thought he might, which is what turkeys usually do. They usually go the opposite way. So that's where I set up. Well, I could hear everything. I couldn't hear Cody calling, but I could hear this bird gobbling. And I mean, I'm just sitting there grinning from ear to ear, trying to envision where this bird was coming from. But I enjoyed the seat that I was in because it was very low key.
Mm-hmm.
I got to just sit there and watch the show. I knew the entire time that Cody's heart was pounding through his eyeballs. I could see it. And for me, I was like, well, the chances of this tom coming to me is 0.
Mm-hmm.
He would have to trip into me, really.
Yep.
But it was a good place for me to be just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could hear him gobble, and I kept hearing that gobble move. So I knew this bird was down on the ground. I knew that he was moving in the direction somewhat towards Cody. And kept hearing it. I'm like, okay, something, this might happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could just see. I knew where Cody was. I knew where the bird was. I was like, those two dots are starting to connect here. And finally I heard the last gobble. And that turkey was like 40 yards behind Cody. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is it. I mean, I had my turkey call out, and I had my phone out, and I put them away. And I could envision hearing a gunshot. And it wasn't 2 minutes later, I hear a gunshot. And I just grabbed my bag and took off running. And I had my phone, and I knew Cody was going to be calling me, and he did. I looked down, and he called me. Heck, I could already see him. I had already ran 150 yards. I just took off sprinting. I mean, I knew it was happening. And so It was great. Got up on there, and I just could not believe my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Some people refer to turkeys as dinosaurs. I mean, they are literally dinosaurs.
Yeah.
If you've never seen a wild turkey, a tom, in real life, it is mesmerizing.
Yeah.
You know, Cody told me, he said this turkey looked fake the entire time, because this turkey, he shot this turkey at 5 steps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was no two ways about it.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, you're right. I saw some turkeys a few weeks ago driving down the road, and they were strutting, and they looked fake.
Mm-hmm.
I had to look like 4 times. They are so crisp.
Yeah.
And so bright and so edgy.
Yeah.
Like that they don't look natural.
No.
And
no, I mean it literally looks like a Picasso painting
yeah.
of them sitting out in a field.
Yeah.
And you just see this big black blob with a white face in the center of it.
The darkest, shiniest black.
Yeah. Absolutely the darkest, shiniest black you'd ever see in your life, and you just see a big fan behind it while he's drumming. And it's like, what in the world? And I literally seen this bird for maybe 15 seconds before I shot him.
From the time he came out to when he came in to attack that male decoy. Cody had a male decoy sitting out there, and that tom said no.
He was ready to fight.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
It's like a buck in rut, and you know whenever he pins his ears back and blows up his neck, like he's ready to rock.
Yeah. So that was, you know, just I've turkey hunted on and off since I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Never really had much success. Heard a lot of gobbles. I've seen a lot of turkeys.
Yep.
But have never even really come remotely close to getting one. I mean, for me, it was being a part of that sounded so far off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't even tell you, our wives could, but I couldn't tell you how many times I've unsuccessfully went turkey hunting. But it's fun. It's always fun.
Oh, yeah.
But for it to come together like that, because, you know, this morning and last night we were talking about it. We were like, you know, hey, we need to have a plan B for when this doesn't come together.
Yeah.
You know, what are we going to do when this tom does not gobble? And this morning, you know, even, you know, he was gobbling on the roost, but that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
You know? And just for it to come together like that just shows you that if you just do the right things and give yourself a chance,
mm-hmm.
you know, you could write a book on what we put together with that. But, you know, just give yourself a chance, put yourself in the right spot,
mm-hmm.
don't give up, and you're going to have a good shot. It may not have happened every time,
right?
But eventually you keep doing that. I listened to someone, I forget where it was. He said that there's 3 P's in turkey hunting. One's position, one's patience, and one's persistence.
Mm-hmm.
And but I don't think that only goes to turkey hunting. It goes to everything.
Right.
But
every piece of wildlife that you try to pursue,
or anything, not wildlife, but
anything in general. Yeah.
But yeah, just to see that come together was, I mean, unbelievable. I mean,
it was perfect. He read the script and he followed his part.
Yeah.
Like it was just play by play. It worked exactly the way that it should have.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just unreal.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes you can lose faith in things going your way.
Mm-hmm.
But when something like that happens, it's like, oh my gosh, did we really just textbook a turkey?
Yeah. Like, it's like, how did we just do that?
If you were to Google how to kill a turkey, it would say roost the tom, sneak up in there tight to him in the morning,
mm-hmm.
get some decoys set out, call to him lightly, have patience, and hopefully he'll come into your decoys and you shoot him at 5 steps.
Yep.
That's what we did.
It exactly.
But you could go hunt 50 more times before you can ever replicate that.
Oh
again. It, I don't want to make it sound easy. It ain't.
No.
But that, and we textbook that coyote too. So we got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
We got lucky 2 times in a row. But like I said, it brings you back to put yourself in a good position, have the confidence, have the persistence, and things can come together.
Yep.
But just to sit there and not only in the turkey world, I'm not talking, but just in the world in general, when you're standing there over that bird and you're like, we just did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we just, because, it was on the last day.
Yep.
Today's Sunday. We were heading home no matter what.
Yep.
And, when we get home, the wives are going to say, it's about time. I need you to do this, this, and this.
Yep.
And then tomorrow we go into work and the phone calls start coming and it's just smacked back to reality.
Mm-hmm.
But to be successful at it just changes the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
the satisfactory of it is just,
oh, it's crazy.
It's like cloud nine. Like we
I don't think that there is much, it shows you that if you have a plan, you stick to it, you talk it through, there's not a whole lot that you can accomplish.
Yep.
I'm not talking turkeys.
Right.
I'm talking
life.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that was fun. But a huge thanks to Jonathan. We met with Jonathan a couple separate times. He showed us around his farms there when we got there. Friday night.
Yep.
And what an operation.
Yeah.
It's a complete top-down family operation. Jonathan and his wife and his son and his daughter, all farming together, and that's a dynamic, and it creates some challenges, I'm sure, but they make it look pretty easy. They've got some stuff going on, that's for sure. It's well operated. It's things, I forget how he labeled it, but they don't care what color their equipment is.
They're non-biracial, I think is what he said.
Yeah, we could say that way. He doesn't care what color his equipment is, but which is different in today's world, but there's an art to that. Like I was telling Jonathan, to be able to confidently go out and purchase a used tractor that you can work on. If there were an issue, you can fix it. Like that's you can make some money doing that.
Yeah.
You can gain horsepower, like Jonathan said, for very little dollars, and add to your assets. And but yeah, there's a lot going on there. They used to raise tobacco. He showed us a lot of neat information about tobacco. But that's what, when Jonathan was showing us around, we actually had to go work on his planter fertilizer kit yesterday.
Yeah.
We were sitting at the Airbnb, and he called Cody, and he couldn't get the electric pump to put out the right rate. And I said, forget this. We're not going to be on the phone with him. Heck, we're 20 minutes from his farm. Let's just drive down there. So we drove down there, and we got it tackled rather quickly. There was just some programming things in the controller a little different. So we got that fixed. But the whole time he was showing us around his farms, he showed us a pivot that he put up in 2013 after the drought. And I was just getting ready to ask him if it was a great investment, and he chimed up and said, that thing hasn't paid for itself yet. And he's talking about biologicals and how they're farming, and we do some things similar back home, and then there's some things we do totally different. It's April 21st, and he's got wheat headed out.
Yeah. Yep.
I got my wheat's ankle high at home.
Yeah.
He thinks he may harvest this wheat June 10th this year. That's incredible.
Yeah. Nuts.
He's going to put double crop beans behind there and have some phenomenal beans, have
Yep.
some phenomenal wheat.
Mhm.
That's what I'm after too.
Yep.
But it's in a different landscape, of course, different location. You know, he's got more sunlight advantage.
Yep.
So it's extremely interesting. But to me, that was just as good as the hunting.
Oh yeah.
Like, I didn't on this particular trip, I wouldn't have cared if we didn't kill a bird. I couldn't have went home upset. I met Jonathan.
Yep.
Learned about his operation, and that to me that'll be something that I talk about and remember forever.
Mm-hmm.
I love going on different farms and seeing, and that's what is really cool about what we do is we get to go from farm to farm to farm.
Yep.
And they're, as you guys know, they're all so different.
Mm-hmm.
From who's running it, to the type of people they hire, to the
Yep.
crops they grow, to the color of the tractor, to
Mm-hmm.
you name it. Where they invest in, whether they invest in infrastructure or tractors or
Mm-hmm.
land or all of the above. I love hearing about all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
and learning, and that farm dates way back.
Yeah.
Way back.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's got a future as far as its past.
Yeah.
So they got some good folks in there. I thought it was really impressive, and the big deal to me, and I reiterated this to John, was that he said every Sunday night they go and have a family meeting
Mm-hmm.
to talk about what they're going to do that week.
Yep.
That's hard to do.
Yep.
And that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a big part of what's going to make them even more successful.
Yeah.
Because when you can get everyone on the same page, especially when it's a mom, dad, and 2 siblings,
Yeah.
every Sunday night they go out to dinner somewhere, and boom, you wake up Monday morning and everyone's rowing the boat the same way.
Yep.
That is key right there. I told Cody after we left John's the one time, it was Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I told Cody, I said, John is the type of guy, I've met a lot of farmers, but he's the type of guy I would not want to be a job that needs to get done.
Yeah.
Because that job is screwed.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get done.
Yep.
Like, if you're that field that needs tiled, your day's done, bud. You're getting tiled.
Yep.
I don't care what happens. That field's getting tiled.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's going to get done. It's going to get done right. And so that's pretty cool. That was just as fun as the turkey hunting, and
Yep.
just a weekend that resets you in so many ways.
Yep.
So it was a ton of fun. Heading back on a Sunday, gonna jump start the week and hopefully get some tillage and seeds in the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, we should. I've got a VRT to start up tomorrow. Guys are planting.
I've got a guidance system to install in a planting tractor tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot.
There was a
about
guy
that one.
who was struggling seeing his lines when planting, and he wanted one for a sprayer too. So we got him a little T-Jet Matrix light bar type deal. It's got a LCD screen on it, kind of like the Easy Guide 250s.
Oh, okay.
They don't make the Easy Guides anymore.
Yeah.
So we had to go with the T-Jet Matrix. So basically what it's going to do is when he's planting, when he's turning around mainly, he struggles to get back where he needs to go.
Mm.
And so this will just help guide him, it'll tell him to nudge over 2 inches, 7 inches, a foot, whatever.
Get back to where he needs to be and everything.
Yeah.
I got you.
Just a basic light bar.
Cool.
But so yeah, where we went today or this weekend was just south of
Evansville.
or
Or
Owensboro.
Owensboro, yeah.
Yeah, Owensboro. And it is amazing the difference in foliage on the trees.
Yep.
There's so many more leaves down here. The wheat is literally knee-high or taller.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, headed out. And then we're going to go back home, and it's like Antarctica.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We seen some emerged corn.
Oh, yeah.
And some emerged beans down there.
Yep.
So they've got some stuff in the ground. He himself hasn't even put a seed in the ground yet,
Mm-hmm.
said. But once it's time to go, they're going to go. So,
yeah, and we were talking. There's a lot of livestock down there too, but it's mainly pullets for broilers.
Yep.
Broiler barns, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Meat chickens, and so that's interesting. They had some down there themselves, whereas back home, we have some meat barns, but there's a lot of eggs.
Yep.
A lot of eggs.
Yep. Bunch of eggs at home.
But he's pulling a lot of stuff off the river.
Mm-hmm.
He gets good markets. There's some good market opportunities there for grains and fertilizer.
Yep.
A lot of our grain back home goes to livestock, so not much of it ever hits the river. But of course, your fertilizer has to come up the river at some point.
Right.
So it was interesting. Interesting trip. I really enjoy seeing how different guys do different things. That's what gives us the ideas, honestly. Go to farm and watch different tools work in different soils, and sometimes you'll see guys use things not for the purpose it was intended for, and that's how you learn new things.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
it was neat. It feels good to have a turkey in the truck and some confidence and inside build up from some hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that's what hunting is. It's you're always honing your skills. Like, sure, we do hunt a lot, but it's not always about shooting a coyote. It's about how you approached that situation.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the layout and you have to think through the best case scenario, the most efficient.
Yep.
And we have to do that all the time, every day.
Mm-hmm.
And doing those things help you make those decisions and help you become quicker and more efficient, because we knew there was a coyote in there. How do we get him out?
Yep.
And you have to think of ways to do that. You have to do that without him winding you, without him seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
And so those complex situations, you feed that into real life, and there's a lot of skills there, and there's definitely some things that we can bring back with us, even from just turkey hunting.
Yeah.
Some people think we're crazy, but it's true. We are crazy. So, yeah, that was this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun, and
great way to decompress.
oh yeah. Well, it's going to compress though here in a second, because we're about 2 hours from home, and the kids are going to want played with. And,
Yep.
the wife's going to have a list, and tomorrow it all starts over. But we'll be able to tell this story for a long time.
Yep.
Took plenty of really cool pictures, and we breasted the bird out, so we'll get to enjoy that meat with the kids, and then we gotta hopefully find a cool way to mount this turkey. I mean, these things the colors of their feathers are so unique. Anything from black and white to brown to blue to purple, and it's unbelievable. That turkey had like a 9-inch beard.
Yep.
Had 3/4-inch spurs.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a super old bird.
He's probably a 3-year-old.
2 or 3-year-old bird, yeah. But yeah, a lot of fun. So we'll record another podcast. Hopefully the end of this week we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about, and hopefully like what's on the front of us right now, front line, is tillage demos.
Yeah.
Tillage demos and keeping our planters running.
Yep.
So like already right now we've got a few fires in the back pocket that need put out tomorrow from this weekend. A few guys are, they're messing with the planter over the weekend, saying, hey, I'm having trouble, call me Monday. So we got to keep the fires put out. You're always going to have them. And then we gotta get demos done.
Yep.
That's on the forefront of this week.
Yep.
So,
Nothing we can't handle.
yep, we will get it done and, yeah, be back at it. So I was hoping to have my beans planted by now. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I got some 3.9s, and I'm really hoping for it to dry out. I was, for no more acres than what we screw with, I was hoping to get some squeeze in there in early April.
Yeah.
Probably could have, maybe one day.
Yeah.
But
It'd have been pretty marginal, but
it would have been. It would have been.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this week I can get them done and out of the way, and put fertilizer on the November 9th planted wheat for the second time here this past week. So that stuff ought to be taken off, and so we'll see.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun.
Okay. Well, we appreciate everyone tuning in, and be sure to listen to the next Talking Shed podcast. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Yep. Thanks, guys.